I'm Jenny Tebbett from Raising Achievement. Last week, we introduced a new series on understanding underpinning cognitive weaknesses. This week, we're going to continue in the series by looking at visual processing difficulties. Do you know that 70% of children with a learning difficulty have got some kind of visual problem, and that this can be verified by international and New Zealand research? Every day as teachers, we see children in everyday practice who skip or add words when they read, who lose their place, miss a line when they read. Maybe they sequence letters wrong in reading or in spelling. For example, they might say on for no or tired for tried, and they may spell help H-E-P-L instead of H-E-L-P. Maybe you notice when they're writing that they don't start at the margin. Their writing goes uphill or downhill, or their letters are ill-formed and they differ in size. Or maybe they get their B's, P's, Q's and D's mixed up. Their M's and W's and their N's and U's are upside down. Maybe they have trouble with comprehension and they can't pull information from the text. Skimming and scanning skills are poor, and maybe they don't even make pictures when they read. All of these problems relate to an underpinning visual weakness. There are several different types of visual processing problems. Visual discrimination, where children have their difficulty seeing the difference between letters and words. Visual memory, where they have difficulty remembering what they've seen. All those children who have difficulty learning sight words or have poor memory for words. Visual sequencing, where they remember the letters in a word in the wrong order, or perhaps they can't remember the steps in a sequence, or even the order of events. Another underpinning weakness relating to visual is around visual figure ground, where they have difficulty screening out the unimportant visual information. And we all know how busy classrooms are, and the visual distractions can be huge. Visual spatial, are they able to use the space on the page well? Do they have the ability to see themselves accurately in space, or are they clumsy or can't estimate space? And another one is visual closure, the ability to see the big picture, to learn new concepts. And we've also got things like scanning and tracking, and some of you may know about Erlands. We've all heard about some of these things, but the point is we weren't trained in them, and we weren't taught that we needed to do something about them. And if we're going to be successful for children with learning differences and difficulties, this is something that we really need to address. We often ask ourselves, why do children persistently underachieve despite having had good intervention? Often they've had 2 or 3 good programs with good people, with experienced teachers, and they're still not making the progress gains that we would want. We now know that undiagnosed and unsupported visual problems are one of the underpinning cognitive weaknesses that cause persistent underachievement. Next week, we will revisit this important topic. Join us to find out how you can address these problems in your classroom. See you next week.